doing, which is kind of cool.
And days.
Yep.
So it's a days themed deck.
And he's got the Cunning Wish package. He also has 2 Emrakul in his main deck to win with. He can potentially cast those off Omniscience. He also has 4 Show and Tell. So this is essentially, a mostly mono blue Show and Tell Omniscience deck with a little bit of black for discard and Limdol's Vault.
Yeah,
Limdol's Vault is a sweet Ice Age card. That's from my childhood, taking me back.
Yeah, I played that deck a million years ago, and like the old.
It was a million years ago when you were a little kid.
In the old World Gorger Dragon combo deck.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, like you could just Limdol's Vault and then win the next turn, or that turn depending on if you have a Brainstorm or whatever. So there we go.
Cool.
So for Limdol's Vault, it's an instant, so you can get it with Firemind's Foresight as part of your 1-2-3 package. You look at the top 5 cards of your library, and as many times as you choose, you can pay 1 life to do it again, and then
and put those cards on the bottom.
And put those cards on the bottom. So you basically just get to 5 at a time, go through your deck, find the perfect 5, reorder them, and then put them on top of your deck.
Yep. And it's great too because you get to do this at the end of your opponent's turn to essentially bait out some sort of counter magic, and then untap and then unload something powerful. So. I know that people used to do this all the time with Show and Tell and Dig Through Time, where they'd fire off a bunch of cantrips. End of turn Dig Through Time, your opponent has to counter it, and that clears the way for the Show and Tell that you were planning on main phasing.
Okay, so Akash has a preordain. Josh is going to play a Chalice of the Void on turn 2. That will be hit with a Force of Will from Akash. But he does have an Underground Sea now on the battlefield, which turns on that Wasteland for Joshua Taylor. So let's see what he decides he wants to do.
And as I'm looking at this deck list more and more, it really does seem like some of the classic mono blue Omni-tell decks that we've seen. He's just got a light black splash, for the Limdol's Vault and some discard.
And so here we have a City of Traders for Joshua Taylor. He's going to play a Chalice of the Void on 1. Let's see what Akash decides to do. He's going to let it resolve. Looks like he does have a Limdol's Vault in hand.
And he's firing it off. He's got the Ice Age one too. That's the illustration that I like.
I'm pretty sure it's Alliances.
Or Alliances, okay, yeah, you're right.
Close enough. So he's going to vault, and it doesn't look like, does he have Lotus Petal here in his deck? It does not look like he has Lotus Petal, so he's not going to be able to find like Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, Show and Tell to win because he already has Omniscience in hand. So let's see what he's looking for. It could just be...
And I was looking at the deck list. Are we actually on Akash's main phase, or is this the end of Josh's turn?
This is in response to the Wasteland.
Okay.
On Josh's turn.
So Akash is going to be able to set himself up to have potentially a game-winning follow-up.
Yeah, so because he has Omniscience and Cunning Wish in hand, if he had Lotus Petal, he could look for a 5-card stack that has Lotus Petal, a double land, Show and Tell, and Brainstorm, or even has a Brainstorm in his hand.
Just drew Ancient Tomb. So that was the card that he brought to the top.
So there's a Boseiju.
Always read the card.
Yeah,
even if you know what it does, sometimes it's good to just double check if you haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah. So it could just be that he just found a stack that had the Show and Tell that he needs.
Yeah.
Along with another land, so just in case he happens to get wastelanded again. All right, so he has 2 mana floating. There's a Thought-Knot Seer. He's going to cast Brainstorm in response. It's going to get countered. Ooh, and now
big deal.
Now he's going to be able to take this Omniscience.
Yep.
This was the card I was worried about. And I probably would have found a Force of Will. All right, so he's going to make a 3/3.
Now Josh has done a good job disrupting Akash's hand. He's got this Chalice on 1 to lock him out of a lot of his draws. and now Josh has deployed a lot of power and toughness to the board to close this game out. So Josh's deck is doing exactly what it's intended to do, and we'll see if Akash can use Cunning Wish somehow to battle through it.
Well, Josh took the Cunning Wish and left Akash with Omniscience. So now Akash has Show and Tell, Omniscience, and if he has a cantrip on top, then this could just be game. I wonder if Akash was just supposed to jam the Omniscience last turn with the Show and Tell. Like, Joshua's going to be able to put basically anything from his hand onto the battlefield anyway.
Well, I believe Akash drew the City of Traders, so I don't think he would have been able to sequence it in the top of his deck in a way where.
And there was a Force of Will in the top 5. So had he drawn a Force of Will for that first turn instead of the Beseiju off of that Limdol's Vault, then he would have been able to force the Thought-Knot Seer pitching the Brainstorm and then win the following turn.
Well, it would have taken him 2 more turns after that because he would have to draw the City of Traders at his third land and then draw the Show and Tell. So if he drew the Force of Will first, it would have set everything else a turn behind. So the way that he did it was he made it so that his